hospitality to this. I appreciate y'all so much. You guys have been unbelievable. Unbelievable all year. And you know what? We appreciate you.
Matthew Stafford right there at his Super Bowl parade. Dozens and dozens of Los Angeles. And there were actually probably more Detroit people there than there were Los Angeles. I would imagine. This is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling, and the NBA All-Star break were there. Bad injury last night in the NBA. We'll talk about that. Matt Stafford, Frat Stafford was the #1 trend in the United States yesterday for about 3 hours. There was an incredible video that surfaced. You can find it. A lot of people tweeted it out. It's going to be mega viral. I would imagine the various versions of it will get tens of millions of views on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. We're going to watch it now together. I'm going to narrate what's happening. Matt is wasted. Matthew Stafford, his wife, Karen Kelly Stafford, she has to deal with something that Matthew just doesn't want to. So let's talk about it together. So there's Matthew, and this chick, let's just watch this again. Boom, goes down. Matthew, watch him. He's like, oh, no fucking way, dude. I'm not dealing with that. And she's like, look at Kelly. She's like, fuck. Let's watch it again. Okay, so there's Matthew, and this chick down. That's like a photographer. Wait, one, down, gone. Matthew's like, I'm out. I can't right now. They have like, there's a stage and shit, and no one is there. Look at this. No one is there. This is crazy. Oh, man. And then Tom Brady with a piece of advice for his buddy, Matt Stafford, said, hey, Matt, mix in a water. Just a piece of advice. Tom got wasted last year and threw the Lombardi Trophy from one boat to another boat, which, there's water. Breaking news in the National Football League. Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley have allegedly called off their engagement. They were never engaged. They were never dating. They just have really good agents. Oh, no. Love is dead. What's Aaron going to do? Is he going to believe in science now? It's crazy. Can't wait to see who he's dating next. As a result of his called-off engagement, everybody on the internet made the same effing joke. Here we go. Let's take a look. This is from Freezing Cold Takes, who every now and then will do the joke of the day or the frequently used joke of the day, which is his way of saying, haha, you're all so clever. So let's look at him. First up, no, I don't want to do that. Let's do this. Rodgers fails to get a ring. That's from Brad Williams. Second up, Josh Moon. These are all blue check marks. Bunch of geniuses, these guys. Another missed shot at a ring for Aaron. Nick Parco. Who the fuck are these verified? Why is Nick Parco verified? Rodgers still searching for his second ring. David Wysong having trouble getting a ring. Hunter Cook struggled for the second ring. Nicole Auerbach. I've heard of that one. Still searching for that second ring. Great joke, guys. Aaron Rodgers trying to find love, and he's trying to do it in Green Bay, allegedly. A little bit of fake sports news now. Yesterday was the 26th anniversary of Shooter McGavin getting screwed by Happy Gilmore. The Shooter McGavin Twitter account issued the following statement. Quote, on this day 26 years ago, I was screwed out of a gold jacket. Gilmore was allowed to fraternize with help, swing, and miss a couple times with no strokes being added and had an entire gallery on his side. It was a complete and utter joke. That being said, I have moved on and I'm at peace with how the day unfolded. Please respect my privacy, and let's keep the jokes to a minimum. Thank you. God bless, Shooter. It's good use of the internet there. I said there was a big injury in the NBA last night. There was. Anthony Davis goes down with an ankle injury. The NBA All-Star break is coming up. I think it's mostly done. I just want to double check on the NBA. So the All-Star break is this weekend. Is everybody out? Now, there are a couple more games. The All-Star game is on Sunday. So today is the last round of games. We got some big ones, Sixers, Bucks, Heats, Hornets, whatever. But last night was Lakers and Jazz. The Lakers beat the Jazz. The Jazz, of course, lost Joe Ingles to a torn ACL, which is a big deal for them. Then last night, Anthony Davis appeared to be unable to put weight on his ankle after going down, and they got the stretcher out and everything. I think he was helped off and carted off kind of, or wheeled off. But that's a big deal for the Lakers. The Lakers suck anyway, or I don't know if they suck, but they suck. Like, They're in very real trouble. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the team for this many games, they are 4 games below 500, and they are right now nowhere near the playoffs. Well, they are. They're the 9 seed, but they're 4 games below 500. And this would be bad news. Hope he's okay. Never want to root for injuries, but that's how it goes, man. It's a rough world out there. Take a look at the Olympic gold medal count. Big Olympic gold last night for Team Canada, the greatest rivalry in all of sports. This is kind of true. It might be one of the greatest rivalries in all sports. In women's hockey, USA and Canada have been going back and forth. Canada, 5th gold for them. They beat the USA twice in these Olympics. Both times it was very close. 3-2 win. They are Olympic gold medalists. Take a look at the Olympic medal count. Norway is obliterating everybody. They have 4 more total medals than everyone else. That's them at the top there. They have 4 more than everybody else. They have 13 golds. That's 3 more than Germany and 5 more than 8, which is the United States. The USA has 8 gold, 8 silver, and 5 bronze. Norway, 13 gold, 7 silvers, 8 bronze. They are truly the gods of winter sports. They should get to host every other time. They should be in Oslo every other time. I mean, it's awesome. And I think everybody likes going there. I'm still confused why Denver doesn't do it. Denver should totally do it. Sweden, good showing from Sweden. They're ahead of China. Total medals, Russia has a bunch of total medals, 24, but those losers, it's not Russia, it's Rock. Those losers, if we scroll down, you can see it right there. 24 total medals, 12 of which are bronze. Losers. Canada's got 20 medals. They've got 11 bronze, 4 golds, one of which now in women's ice hockey. Finland finally getting their head out of their ass a little bit. Because Sweden and Norway are happy to represent Scandinavia, but Finland, 6 gold. Better than that, maybe, kind of. Not 100% sure that you actually are. Any other interesting updates? Slovakia has 1. Spain with 1. Ukraine with 1. Belgium with 1. Estonia with 1. That's awesome. Good for those guys. Latvia and Poland each have 1 as well. The Olympics are wrapping up shortly. I believe this weekend will be the last round of games. The United States was eliminated yesterday by Slovakia in men's ice hockey. Remember, there are no NHL players playing in the Olympics due to the union saying no, and them kind of all agreeing to say no, which has a lot more to do with COVID protocol, because if you test positive, you have to stay in China, and like the NHL hockey players are like, I'm not going to miss paychecks because the Chinese can't get their shit together with COVID. And so they all agreed. Too dangerous to be like quarantined, aka imprisoned in China waiting for quarantine to be over. Which you really can't blame those guys for that. Got more footage from the Super Bowl. I think the greatest story of the Super Bowl is a couple-fold. Everybody feels good for Stafford, and he's a quarterback, and he's white, and he's rich, and that's great. But the 2 things for me that are really important here are there were some all-time great players in the Super Bowl for the Rams that got their ring. And I know that the Bengals, and I pull for them a little bit because of Logan Wilson and Joe Burrow, and that's great. There are 3 dudes who are now just on another stratosphere of their career, and it's going to be really helpful for them. So the first is Von Miller, who, when he was traded to the Rams, he was kind of hurt and kind of not. They were holding him out. He was having a resurgent year for the Broncos. In 2020, he tore his Achilles like in May or something, and he didn't play the entire year, obviously. 2021, he comes out hot. The Broncos start 3-0, then they collapse, and they trade him to the Rams, and everyone's like, LA, what are you doing? They gave away a lot of stuff, a linebacker and like 2 picks. And they get Von Miller, and he has a great playoff. Now Von Miller has the most sacks in Super Bowl history because he's appeared in 2. I think he's got like 4.5 total sacks in the Super Bowl. And he's got 2 Super Bowl championships and a Super Bowl ring. That makes him one of the greatest, 15 defensive players of all time, maybe? Like, that's GOAT stuff. The second guy I would say is Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald's been mulling over retirement. I've been thinking about that. He is the 11th highest paid player in the NFL, I believe, according to like cap hit and whatnot. He should be paid more than the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL, including like Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, and of course all the rookies, but that's kind of a different thing. So a lot of people are speculating that this is a contract thing. Everyone's like, how could you walk away? You're at the height of your power right now. Then I thought about it. I'm like, having a functioning brain is good. He has been incredibly lucky / diligent with being hurt, which means that he's just a freakazoid person. Like, he doesn't get hurt. He's able to be so athletic and so quick and so strong that he's avoided injury all these years. He just avoids the situations that get him injured. But then also huge elements of that are luck, and he hasn't had to go through that and miss seasons and get surgeries, and football ruins the bodies of the people that play it. Their joints, their brains, their nervous systems, their like neuropathy, which is how your brain interprets pain. He hasn't really had to go through that in the same way that most people do. Like most people are gonna, like Matthew Stafford has serious injuries. All these guys have serious injuries at certain points. He hasn't really had to do that. So now he's got the Super Bowl. He's the first player, other than I think Lawrence Taylor, to be first team All Pro every single year has been in the NFL. He's been multiple time Defensive Player of the Year. He's like unanimously the best non-quarterback in the NFL. His competition right now is like Jerry Rice and Lawrence Taylor and Tom Brady and Jim Brown. Like, is he the GOAT? Is he on the Mount Rushmore of football players? That's where Aaron Donald's at right now. And I don't think that this age of millennial kind of stuff would mean that he is necessarily interested in chasing that just to chase that. He's got the ring. He was clearly the best player on the field again, and every single game he plays, he essentially is the best player on the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks away. I mean, why? Why not? What's left? I mean, you're really going to be vain enough to do it for your legacy. That's fine. I mean, I respect that. That's Michael Jordan stuff. Sure, whatever. You got to do what you got to do, man, and we all love watching him play, and he's the best. But I also would kind of respect it more if he didn't. The only thing is, if this is about money and you want to play 5 more years of this health, like really scrape out a career, there is a difference. He's already made, like, I want to say like $100 and something million. If you want to make another $100 million, I mean, well, I'm not going to tell you no. And there's nothing that he's going to do after football that's going to make him as much money as that. So if this is about money and like really, really changing the lives of your family, like, because there is, and we think about this a lot as fans of the sport, and this kind of pisses me off. We associate, we scale down in our brains. We're like, what's it? Just take $1 million pay cut to play for the Patriots. And like, because in our brain that's like a $10,000 pay cut. Like, well, you have this good job and it pays $100,000, and then you have a bad job that pays $120,000, and we're like, 20 grand, that's a lot over time, but like maybe it's worth being happy in mental health. This is not fucking that. Another million is another $1 million. So you want to play for the money? Yeah, I do. It's not the same thing as taking a $10,000 pay cut to stay happy. It is not at all. It is not at all. So if he wants to play and just eke out money, completely, like Ndamukong Suh goes to the highest bidder. I kind of respect that. Every million is life-changing for everybody. So I respect that. And the last guy I want to talk about is this guy, Andrew Whitworth, is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's played left tackle at 40 years old. He won a national championship in high school as like a wrestler. He won a state championship in Louisiana. He won a national championship with Nick Saban at LSU in 2003. And now he's a Super Bowl champion. And this is him comforting Odell on the sideline after they lost to the Rams.
Hey, man. Listen to me. Yeah. We're going to get you a hat and a T-shirt today. Yeah. And we're going to go get one of those big shiny things, bro. You understand that? Yeah. To cement your legacy forever. You understand? Because that's what God wants for you, man. Head high and ready for your op. I can see it.
Whitworth, of course, is a huge, huge LSU guy, and so is OBJ. LSU people, and I know that everybody, you love my college. No, you do not love your college as much as LSU people love LSU. You don't. Not even Bama, nobody. Nobody loves their college as much as like the strongest alumni base in college football is LSU players for there. They love LSU. When Odell Beckham was getting recruited and Leonard Fournette was getting recruited, it was a joke. Never considered going anywhere else. I doubt they ever took any serious visits even. So for those guys to do that, what a cool moment that was for Andrew Whitworth. Super happy for him. I think he's a Hall of Famer. That's just my opinion. Some GOAT stuff going on for the Rams, and you feel good for them, obviously. But that parade, Matthew, God, that was just good for you. I gotta say, I think it's going to be an interesting situation what they do in the offseason. Everyone's going to be talking about that. Yesterday, Jim Harbaugh announced a $1 billion extension. Or Michigan announced the extension for Jim Harbaugh. So Jim Harbaugh got an extension last year. Everyone was like, oh, I don't know, it's getting a little stale. Then he had the best year that they've had kind of ever. I know that they won a national championship, quote unquote, but this was kind of the best year they've ever had. They thumped Ohio State at home. They finally win one when Ohio State has like a real team and not just like a sanctioned team. They go to the playoff. They get crushed by Bama, but that's a rite of passage. You can ask Notre Dame and Michigan State and Washington and all of them. Like, you had a great year, but that sucks. And then he flirts with the NFL. You hear rumors about the Raiders. You hear rumors about the Dolphins. And then he's like, he thinks he has the Vikings job. And they're like, no, this is an interview, Michael Scott. And now he's got this extension with Michigan. Yeah, that's a good job, Jim. You will beat Ohio State. If you beat Ohio State now, it appears like based on your success level, every 8 years or so, you'll be fine. Which is hard. I mean, trust anybody to beat Ohio State every 8 years. TJ Watt appeared on the popular podcast Pardon My Take recently. They interviewed him at the Super Bowl. He is nearly the unanimous Defensive Player of the Year winner. He said on an interview that he checked his phone at halftime because he was close to the Michael Strahan sack record. At halftime, he checked his phone to see if he'd gotten it, to see how they counted the stat. And the NFL, like the cops they are, of course, find him. Unbelievable douchebaggery for the NFL. Weekend's coming up. We're going to, I guess we'll reset and keep everybody up to date with what's going on with the association. We'll reset with the NHL. The Nhl Trade Deadline is coming up sort of quickly. Things are happening. Things are moving. That'll be fun. The NFL Draft and free agency is happening. Baseball is not happening. The official lockout began yesterday or 2 days ago when pitchers and catchers were supposed to report. They did not. All right. Back and better than ever tomorrow morning.